Okie dokie. I believe this is part 4. I didn't get a chance to show off getting the camper up here, so let's do that real quick. Get out here to the road. So I'm pretty close to my road here. We couldn't get it back off far in there as I really wanted to. This thing's bigger than I remember it. I've got to do a lot of leveling. As you can see, it's sitting pretty crooked, and it's the first time I've been back since we dropped it off, and I've got a flat over here. I'm gonna have to deal with that, but the camper ain't too bad. It needs a little love, but you can't beat $500. And then I brought a truckload of stuff today, just random bulky items that are sitting around the house, and it's a nice day, so I figured I'd just bring it out. Oh, smiling ripple dog. Yeah, that's about it for right now. I'm gonna get this thing unloaded, and I've got a storage unit now, so this is all stuff that doesn't matter if it gets hit with rain or not. I'll probably store most of it up underneath the camper. And that's a whole truckload of shit that's not at my house anymore, so camp over there seems to be in decent shape. The rain fly is still on there, nothing blew away. All my tie downs are where they're supposed to be. I hadn't walked over there and checked, but well, right now that's it for part 4. I'm gonna get unloaded. And I did walk down to the creek, and there's a little bit of water in there. We didn't get real heavy rains, but we had about 3 days solid of real slow rain, so to see water down there tells me when there's a big storm, it ought to at least come through. And if there's not too much, I may be able to dam it up and actually have water in that creek. Yeah, sometimes it won't be spring fed, and I'm not going to want to go drinking out of it, but something to draw the wildlife in. And it's always nice when the dog can just run down to the creek and get a drink if he wants to. It saves me on my stored water, because that is what these barrels are for. I've got one more 55, and one of these has an 18 inside of it. These will eventually, one of these will be my solar type shower this summer, because the black barrel will get nice and warm through the day, and then if I get out here in the evening, I'll have a nice warm shower up until winter, and I'll have to have something else figured out by then, but all in good time. I can't do it all at once. Old Betsy did good today. I finally named this truck Betsy because she looks like a gray and white cow, and she drives about like a cow, but I love this truck. Dad bought it brand new, and it's still putting work in, so anyway, before this gets too long-winded, I'm gonna get to unloading this and organizing a little bit. I think I'm gonna leave the windows open in the camper because I should be back here Monday with more stuff. I've got about a week to get out of the house, so we'll make it happen. Okay, I'm unloaded. Do a little run through of what it got accomplished today, and then I'm gonna go back to the house and just clear the house out. That's the stage I'm at, is getting moved out. So come on in here. I'm just kind of cramming some stuff in here until I get time to actually tarp it off, and really just about getting the house empty. But got the little living area here, table, sink, stove, bin hood, microwave, all your typical stuff. I got a closet here, but what I'm seeing is it's kind of wet down there. I don't know what's leaking, but I'll have to get that figured out before I go hanging clothes and shit in here. This is the fridge. It needs some cleaning, or I'd show you the inside of it. It's pretty nasty. There's a bathroom, but it's not really going to work until I do some finagling with piping and whatnot. The tank is broke on this, so I believe you can hook water to it and everything will work, but it all just drains out the bottom for the time being. So eventually I'll pipe that out and have at least my water draining down the hill towards the creek, and I'll just keep using my bucket in the meantime for solids. And then this is the bedroom. Not much to it. A couple little cabinets falling apart. And I'll have a bed. My bed from the house will come in here. That'll be one of the last things I move. Josh had repaired this decently, but as you can see, it ain't perfect and it ain't fancy, but it keeps most of the rain off your head. And the fact is, you can't beat the price. I spent about getting this here and buying the camper, and probably even whenever I run the electricity to it is going to be less money than my rent was this month with my utility bills. So can't beat that. It is what it is for the time being, and that's home sweet home until until I can get to building. But there it is. I made it. I'm going to get a measurement from, I got a little pile of scrap lumber I brought from the house. Being in my line of work, I get a lot of those. I brought a couple coolers and dropped them off. This is all electrical material. These 2 boxes. Stuff I've been carrying around since I lived in Texas, but it does come in handy. I got some blocks over there for working on cars and whatnot, and then all my hand tools, my barrels, my ladder, just little odds and ends. I really was getting kind of overwhelmed with my workshop. It's got so much little stuff in there that I finally said, you know what, I just need to take a truckload of this and get it out of my hair. But I was hoping to have backed this up a little farther, not by much, but I really wanted it to be closer this way. So the power hooks up right here, this guy, and that guy, and then we go pretty well. I did get straight up lined with this pole, so I'm gonna double check my measurements here and make sure a 100-foot piece of wire will get me timped in for the most part. Right now I'm not trying to get too permanent on anything. I just need to get where I can stay warm in this camper so I can plug a heater in, because our weather is still, it's nice today, but it'll probably be in the 30s tonight. That's not super fun in a tent. You know, even with a good sleeping bag, you don't get a lot of sleep that way. So the tent will stay set up for storage until, I don't know, until I really get out here and I can start organizing and maybe building a shed. Shed's pretty important for me to have a fridge and a deep freeze out here. That way I can keep my food good. That fridge in there works, but it works off of propane, and that gets very expensive. Whereas a deep freeze and a fridge, if that's some of the only stuff I'm running, and the AC does work in this when it gets hot. That's one of the best things about it, is that AC is, it does its job and it doesn't use a lot of power. So it's old beat up 96 camper, but it'll work for now. Ain't no sense in getting a brand new $20,000 camper when the whole plan is to build a cabin. So that's it for today. There's not a whole lot more to tell. It's just a moving day. Pretty boring. Just a lot of driving. So y'all have a good one. I'll get this up after a while.